not only will there be more, but the signal to possible fraudulent makers, en français on dit I'll try to say it, fraudsters, you say that in English, I think? No, those fraudsters that might want to commit fraud in 2024 should be very, very prudent, because we have tools now to detect and monitor their activities that didn't exist just a few months ago.
Thank you very much. That is our time. We're going to suspend briefly to change everything over. Apparently, we're going to have bells in about 6 to 10 minutes on closure on C29. So I'll just seek UC right now. That will continue through like before, and we'll vote virtually as before. Minister.
I'll be subbed in.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Wonderful. We are suspended, Minister. And crew, thanks very much for joining us. We're suspended. back. Welcome back, Minister Anand, for like the 30th time to OGGO under various departments. We'll have bells, but hopefully we'll get through the opening statement. The floor is yours, Minister. Just quickly, everyone, depending on how long we're going to lose for the bells, we may adjust the second round times down to 4, 4, 2, 2, 4, 4 again. Minister, the floor is yours, please. Go ahead.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge that the lands on which we are gathered are part of the traditional unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe peoples. I'm joined today with members of my department to give an overview of the supplementary estimates C 2023-2024. Le budget supplémentaire des dépenses C présente.
Supplementary Amount C provides for about $13.2 billion in supplementary estimates. Currently, there is an increase of statutory expenses of $4.3 billion. The government is requesting approval of voted appropriations of $8.9 billion. Furthermore, in the current estimates, there will also be $11.9 million for frozen allotments or allocations. So these are changes that were made in the department throughout the year. The amount for this year also includes the $500 million that was withdrawn from budgets of departments under an initiative that was meant to refocus government spending. Recent reports on government contracts and the actions of certain individuals are very concerning for us. As the Auditor General stated, there are rules whose purpose are to guarantee healthy public monies management within the entire government, and not all of these rules were followed.
Announced a series of actions that the Treasury Board of Canada Secretariat will take to strengthen our oversight of departmental practices to support effective and streamlined management across government. These actions include the immediate release of an updated manager's guide when procuring professional services to ensure that managers are receiving a clear statement of work and doing due diligence to maintain the integrity of the procurement, including not committing to any payments before those items have been received. Embedding certain elements of the manager's guide within Treasury Board's mandatory procedures to strengthen the accountability of managers' role in procurement. And releasing a new risk and compliance process which will assess government-wide trends, risks, and individual departmental performance. And I will say that will include a horizontal, comprehensive audit across government departments. Also, reviewing of the directive on conflict of interest to ensure that the requirements are clear and effective, and to ensure that more oversight, if needed, will occur. Improvements to the proactive disclosure of government contracts on the Open Data Portal will also be part of this emphasis. We want to make sure that we have transparency in government contracting, and that will include on the portal itself. Monsieur le Président,
Mr. Chair, Canadians expect their government to invest their money judiciously, rigorously, and responsibly. Along with Minister Duclos and his team, we want to ensure that we efficiently manage their departments and that we maintain the trust of Canadians.
Expenditure plans is only part of the equation. Canadians expect us to execute effectively, and maintaining public confidence in democratic institutions must be our priority, especially at this moment in time. We will continue to step up to play that role. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Minister. We'll be able to get everyone 6 minutes in. So we'll start with Mrs. Cusi, please. Go ahead.
Minister, it would be difficult for me to express a greater level of disappointment than I feel on behalf of Canadians today. First of all, this year, we have a $40 billion deficit. And as you know, I hold you personally responsible, as you are the one who signs the checks, who releases the money from the Government of Canada. Secondly, we received this report from the Parliamentary Budgetary Officer regarding the $500 million. The two greatest line items, Minister, are lapsed funds and departmental reserves. Hardly new savings, hardly a safe place for Canadians, Minister. And then, Minister, we know, of course, today that you released these guidelines, because apparently your guidelines of October 5th, 2023 didn't work, because we also received in the media today the news of $5 million in the first wave, only the first wave of fraudulent billing found in contracting. We know what's been going on with Arrive Scam and GC Strategies. We know what's been going on with Dalian. I want you to tell Canadians today how many federal employees are also collecting contracts with the federal government. Give me that number, please. How many federal employees are also collecting contracts with the federal government? Do you have that number for me today?
There is an RCMP investigation relating to the employees, as mentioned by Minister Duclos. And in addition, we have a call out through the Comptroller General's office for a cross-government comprehensive list of items as requested in your question.
We don't know the number. We don't know the number right now of how many federal employees are double dipping, who have these jobs with the federal government and are also collecting funds through contracts with the federal government. Minister, my next question is, can you identify within the $5 million, which was announced today in the media by Bill Curry in the Globe and Mail, how much of that is attributed to Arrive Scam? How much of the $5 million is involved in the Arrive Scam scandal?
Those items, on my understanding, they do not fall under my purview, do not relate to the supplier you mentioned.
For all the money, you must have an idea. You must have an idea.
I responded to the question by saying that they are not related, the items that you mentioned.
I think Canadians would think that they are related because it is money going out of the Treasury Board, of which you are the president. $5 million, we understand, was just the first wave. Can you tell Canadians today how much more can we expect of this? How much in the second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave? How much more will we see in addition to this $5 million, which has been fraudulent
Actually,
billing?
the Auditor General pointed out that the rules exist to address any situations in the public service of this nature, and generally speaking, they are followed. But in the case of ArriveCan and the CBSA, they were not, and that's exactly